Hey you guys, welcome back. Today we're going to have a look at the plumerias. I brought in my plumerias, as you probably know. They come in every winter. I brought them in. There was no signs of any inflows in sight, but I did keep a couple that I wanted to grow through the winter, try to not have them go dormant, to see if we can increase the chance of inflows for next year. Anyway, the ones that I kept out of dormancy, or trying to keep out of dormancy, they all started inflows, so that's really amazing. So now I've really got to try to nurture these things. So let's have a quick look at them. These are elephant ears behind me, not the plumeria. So let's look at the plumerias that are both not in dormancy and out of dormancy. Wait, not in dormancy yet, and the ones that are trying to go dormant. I was saying the same thing. Wow, I've got a little frog in my throat again. What is with me and frogs in my throat? It's early morning, it's a thing. So anyway, bear with me. Let's go see some inflows, and yeah, hopefully these plants don't go completely dormant. I want to try to keep them a little bit on the moist side, sort of. They're showing signs of stress because when I ripped them out of the garden, obviously the roots were growing outside of the pot, so all of the roots that were growing outside got demolished. Yeah, I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, so here is the first one here. This one, I don't know whether you're able to see, but against my hand here is an inflow that started. Hopefully it's going to come into focus. Doesn't like to focus on plant bits. Even if it doesn't flower, I'm not too worried, as long as I know that the plant is now ready. Because as you know, these are seedlings, or were seedlings. They're getting bigger. There's another inflow right at my thumb. I don't think that that's coming into focus. Hopefully it will focus on my thumb. I just need to keep these from going completely dormant. Otherwise, in past experience, inflows will crisp up. So if I can keep them going, there's another inflow right here. If I can keep them growing sort of through the winter, then they will stay pliable enough, and usually the inflow will continue to grow and produce alternate bud sections. So fingers crossed. I've had inflows flower all summer long, so there's no real risk of not seeing a bloom. So as I mentioned, they're not doing so well because in these pots I've just ripped them out of the soil, usually with a shovel, and the roots really are all growing outside of the pot, as you can see. So what I might do with these ones, I might end up potting them up into slightly bigger pots. The problem with that is in the summertime when they go outside, it's going to be a lot more that I have to try to figure out laying out in the garden, and if they're in nicer pots, then I will probably have to keep them growing in a pot, or I don't know. I'm rambling. I'll figure that all out next year, but I'll probably end up putting them in a slightly bigger pot, maybe a 2-gallon size, because they are quite big. So that's very exciting. Looks like I've got a little bit of a thrip thing. Those mites are doing their job. I'm noticing less insects, but obviously they're not killing anything that is up on the plant. So I've been spraying occasionally, but not every weekend. I should start spraying every weekend again. I've got some flecking on the leaves, as you can see. They're not looking so good, but that's because the little monsters are on the underside. I don't know whether you're able to see. Let's flip this one over. These little black flecks by my thumb, are they going to come into focus? Probably not. They're little jerks, little thrips, so they're causing a lot of mottling on the leaves, and them actually changing their shape. So the larvae, I guess, are in the ground, and that's where the mites are going to come into play. But the adult ones that are already on the plants, they're going to do their thing until they die with me spraying them. So I just need to get on that a little bit more frequently. And it looks like, moving this around, it looks like I've got like a scale or a mealybug on this plant, but it's not. That's the sap from the plumerias. So I've got some plumerias also dormant. These kind of look like they're dormant, but they're not. Let's go look at the dormant ones. Okay, so beside where I water my plants, I've got my sink here. I've got a very, very sad-looking walking kalanchoe. And I've also got some orchids. Well, this, my Wrinkle Stylus, and the one that was in flower is now not in flower, and a couple of other things that have been watered. Now they're just hanging to dry. But over in this side here, these are all my plumerias that I am letting go dormant. These ones I will monitor probably once a month to see what's going on, whether they need a drink. I'm going to be watching the stems, the trunks, to see how wrinkly they get. If they get really, really wrinkly, I will take them out and I will give them a little bit of a drink. But as long as they stay relatively firm and plump, I'm not going to water them at all. I'm doing hand motions, but you can't see them. I'm talking and I'm chopping the air and doing stuff, and yeah, anyway. So these ones haven't produced any inflows yet, but hopefully next year these will do their thing. Again, I'm going to soak them with fertilizer. Just pump the fertilizer to them. These guys are heavy feeders, and if you don't feed them enough, they don't bloom for you the way that you might want them to. So yeah, high middle number gets them to really do the trick. And usually I use an Ultra Bloom by Miracle Grow, but everybody has their thing. So anyway, just wanted to show you what was going on with the plumerias. Not too much, but I'm very excited to show you that there was some inflows starting. So next year we should see some blooms. Anyway, show me what you're growing. Let me see your plumerias. Maybe yours are all like this, or maybe yours looks beautiful in the window, or maybe it's growing outside. Maybe you live tropical place, and it's looking marvelous, full of blooms. Anyway, I'd love to see them and the varying colors. And yeah, until next time, you guys, happy growing.